welcome to Julian and Christie's Nerd Street Gamers eSports Summer Camp Show Match. My name is Elijah L. Gallagher. For the past 2 weeks, these students have been learning to play Overwatch at a high level. They've also learned all the in and outs of the eSports industry, from business to production, and of course, improving their in-game skills. We're going to take a look at a show match featuring some of the players. So right out of the gate here, we see Orisa Hog versus Dive. So it's a pretty interesting matchup in my opinion. The Orisa Hog needs a lot more coordination. If the Dive is able to gap close onto the backline without taking poke, it's going to be really strong. Running Pharah Tracer with the Orisa Hog is questionable. Normally you want a hit scan or someone who can kind of use that shield to their advantage, but it'll be interesting. Right out of the gate here, Dive all going in the same direction, taking a lot of Pharah spam. Looking for the hook pull combo is interesting. Oh, Genji gets hooked, and ooh, really good combo from Diamond Dog, who doesn't take out that Genji early. Rubbish does pick off Zen, so it's a pretty even fight. Maybe they can get the res off.
The objective is now active.
And Archangel goes down, so that's all the healing gone for Team Bastion only. They should be able to clean up this fight pretty easily. They are splitting, giving the Pharah a lot of time to get picks. The Mercy is still up though, so they should be able to get a res. D.Va coming that point. This is a really brawly fight. Dive is usually a lot better in these situations. Genji getting picks, Dive regrouping. So even though the fight started off really well with the Roadhog Orisa getting that initial pick, they needed to kind of back up and play together and not let their Zen and Mercy get picked off alone. I like the aggressive positioning being taken here by the Dive, trying to not let the Orisa Hog comp get set up on point is really risky. You want to like play up and in their face so they have to use their cooldowns to actually get close. D.Va getting hooked though is really bad. She needs to get back and heal as quickly as possible. That gives them a lot of space to push up. Forcing Valk, ooh, and Monkey getting moved off the map. So this is really unfortunate for them. Wow, Shimada popping off, getting 3 kills. Jeez, this is crazy. Very skilled Pharah player. Solo carried that fight in a really impressive way. Getting the initial kill onto the Winston so he couldn't get res because he fell into the pit. Then hitting the direct air shot onto the Mercy, looping off the Widow, and then dodging that D.Va bomb by hiding in the pit is actually pretty high tier. It was impressive. So they swap Brig off of Zenyatta. I like that. If you're getting bullied to Zenyatta, swapping Brig can be really powerful just because it kind of makes them have to dive your Mercy, and that's pretty strong. On the dive side, they got off the Tracer and went to a Widow. I like that into Brig. I think I'd like to see them go Doomfist, personally. The Widow does help counter the Pharah and the Brig slightly, but it's hard for the Widow to get angles because of the Orisa shield. Ooh, Pharah playing super aggressive without Mercy. That's a big mistake, getting picked off really early. Rubbish getting 2 kills. That's huge. They should be able to push up and just kind of clean up this fight. They just need to not split. Ooh. Nice. Rubbish getting a 3rd kill this fight. That's crazy. Got in a really good position in this top left corner, so we could very freely shoot at the enemy backline. Because they picked that Pharah so early, there wasn't really anybody to contest him.
Justice reigns from above.
Oh, Shimada though with a 2k barrage, the 1k pulse bomb, and 3 picks. Is that really going to lose this fight? Rubbish got 4 kills. Okay, maybe they should be getting off dive. It seems like mid-fight they're really splitting a lot and not being on the same target, and that seems really risky. I'd like to see them go... I still think the Winston D.Va is okay, but maybe get off of the Genji, go like another hit scan or go some flanker. Or you can go Rein Zarya and kind of push into the Orisa, but in these mid-fights they're overextending and dying to the Pharah in spaces they really just shouldn't be. I like this flank on the left side. It dodges a lot of the Pharah spam. It gets you in a better position to fight the shield. They need to make sure that this Tracer can't get off a good flank with the Pharah spam and get a pick early. I want to see them use Trance here on this dive, but it seems like their Zen is maybe a little bit far away to do that. It's a really good blade and a really well executed dive, actually. Picking up 4. Okay, they shouldn't be able to lose this fight. It was a really good dive. They flanked. They didn't take too much poke. They used their cooldowns together. They engaged on the same thing. That was good. It'll be interesting to see if Orisa Hog ends up swapping Winston D.Va to retake. Orisa Hog can be really hard to use on first point, or like on the first point retake, because they already have ult advantage, and the only way you can push in is if you get a pick. Last time they ended up getting one of those picks, but I think they should be swapping here. I like the swap to Winston D.Va a lot. The solo support I think is risky into the Widow. Puts a lot of pressure on your Mercy, and you don't really have that much peel. I think I'd like to see Zen instead of Tracer. They're pushing up here to try and take space, so they're not flanking, so that's pretty interesting. Ooh, but they pick off Mercy really early. That's really good for them. They just need to play together and make sure they can keep these picks going. Mercy and Zen, no more healing for the side. The defenders. That was also really well executed. So both these teams are doing a pretty good job getting in together, getting on the same target, and focusing it down. The Mercy did come back with Valk, so they got to be on the same target, make sure they can kill things before her healing takes over. They did recap. That's huge. Maybe they can push up and stagger this Mercy. Or are they just going to play point and try to kill the bleeds? There's a staggering Tracer coming into the race. That'll be interesting to see if they can pressure her out of overtime. Oh, she gets it, and they get in with Trance. They have Blade coming up soon, and Diva Bomb. This is totally winnable. Diva Bomb only gets one, doesn't get the Valkyrie Mercy. Genji's not really supported enough to use the Blade here. Pulls it out. Genji, but anime battle? Oh my god. So, Koru ends up winning the Genji fight with Blade, and that's huge. That's a massive ult swap in that fight. They still might lose because they're bleeding back onto the point. It's just hard to win this fight regardless, but that was a really good play. They do end up getting cleaned up. It's only Lucio left on the point. Tracer trying to come back, but it shouldn't be enough. After they clean up Lucio. Yeah, so that was really interesting. So you kind of saw the Orisa Hog versus Winston D.Va matchup. Winston D.Va have to flank a lot more and try to pressure, whereas Orisa Hog kind of want to stop the flank pressure, look for damage on the tanks early so they can't jump. I liked the Widow swap when the enemy team went Brig. The initial dives were pretty good when they were on Zen, but once they went Brig Mercy, I think it was a little bit harder to dive. They weren't really set up and ready to pressure them. Because against the Mercy Brig, you have to do a lot more work like pre-fight, trying to pressure the Mercy, pressure the Brig, so that they use their cooldowns. But I did also like the swap from the Orisa Hog to go Winston D.Va on the retake, kind of give their team more space. So this will be interesting. They're still running solo heal Mercy with the Brig versus Mercy Zen Widow Genji. So I like the Widow Genji more than the Brig here because you also have Discord to focus tanks, and it's going to be really on Shimada to carry this on Widow with this comp. So they're just going to be trying to give him as much space as possible, scouting the enemy Widow and pressuring tanks for him. Hackcam taking point early is pretty interesting. He doesn't want to take poke here, so he's maybe a little too aggressive. They are fully committing here into a good counter dive from Twiz. This should be enough to clean up this dive. Ooh, but Rubbish gets a pick on Pumpkin. That's pretty big. He's now under no pressure for the remainder of this fight. They only got one pick. They get the Mercy too. Ooh, but Hackcam actually gets Archangel, and they get Diamond Dog. This is a crazy fight. Shimada, though, popping off, getting both DPS. Please see the Zenyatta behind you. Zenyatta actually gets one. Wow. That was a really good counter dive, though. They noticed that the enemy team had overextended, and they peeled back really well to pressure. Nimba needs to back up. He shouldn't be trying to contest this early. He's going to take too much poke. So it'll be interesting to see if Hackcam does the same. It'll be interesting to see if Hackcam does the same thing and kind of like jumps up aggressively, or if he plays it a little bit slower, tries to like let his team do a little bit of work and get a little bit of poking before committing, because the Brig's really hard to dive into. 2 insta-picks from Rubbish and Koru is huge, but the Diva Bomb does get Mercy, so if they can get a res off, Rubbish with another pick, that's probably the end of this fight. Rubbish is doing a massive amount of work. That was like less team play and more good coordination between Rubbish and Koru. Like they each got an individual pick. Both of them were able to push up. Rubbish then got a second pick on the Brig, and at that point you just can't res. It was a good attempt from Twiz for that deep bomb, but it didn't end up working out. Rubbish with 2 more. God, it's crazy. Okay, so it'll be interesting to see if Shimada swaps. He just used walls, and he's kind of losing the Widow 1v1, so it's a little bit hard to stay, in my opinion. They're posturing really aggressively, even though they don't have 6 people back yet. Could be a little bit risky if they take poke. This posturing really does favor the Brig over the Zenyatta, as long as you can keep healing everybody, because the Brig can pressure the tanks more. Pumpkin going in really deep and having to use recall early, that's going to make it hard to dive. Twiz getting caught out on the left side, going really low. Oh, but Shimada wins the Widow duel. That's huge. As long as they can deny the res and play slow and focus tanks, and they get Mercy. But Pumpkin does go down. Archangel might go for the greedy res. I think it's a mistake. They should keep playing slow, trying to stay alive on point, keeping everybody else up. They do get it off and win the fight pretty cleanly. So winning the Widow duel early there was huge because it meant that there was no more pressure from the left side. You see the angle the camera's at? There was no pressure from the left side on point, so they were able to push up really aggressively into the enemy front line without really worrying, while they had their own Widow pressure. So Rubbish uses walls here, trying to get the Widow 1v1. Shimada just really shouldn't peek it. You can see he's hiding behind this pillar, just waiting. As they push in here with the walls, they're going to really be looking to use Blade and Valk to like pocket that Genji and really help Koru pop off. Rubbish winning the Widow 1v1, that's huge. See if they can get the res off. Archangel playing really aggressive, out of position here. Gonna get punished. Diva Bomb getting 2, Twiz with a massive Diva Bomb. Being able to turn this fight around is super, super important. They need to be able to pressure Rubbish on the top right side though. He's getting a lot of value. It's his second pick this fight. if he can get one more on Pumpkin, it might actually be the fight. No, that was a good job stemming the bleeding. That Diva Bomb was really important by Twiz. When he noticed that they had dove point on his Mercy, since he Diva Bombed point, it made it really hard for them to like follow up on the dive. Even though they killed the Mercy, getting 2 picks like that is just so important. So on the retake here, they only have Diva Bomb and Trance. I'd like to see them try to just fight on point into the Brig with the Diva Bomb and the Trance. Try to make it hard to support her. I like this engage. Huge, really good Diva Bomb. They should make sure they clean up and not overuse ults. I think that Trance was a bit unneeded. Doing a good job so far. Rallying. Ooh. Okay, so that was pretty bad by the defending side there. They used a lot of ults there to try to counter. They did position point, which is why I wanted to engage with the Diva Bomb, because there's not really anywhere on point they can go to hide from it. So it was good that Nimbo recognized that and was able to capitalize. It'll be interesting to see how they position for the retake. Last time they lost a retake just to Shimada popping off, so let's see if they pressure him early. I like the Genji going on the Widow. Maybe committing the dash was a bit much. He's probably going to die for it. It's okay, though. They can still play slow and have the Winston Diva pressure the Widow in the mid-fight. Rubbish popping off again, winning the Widow roll. It's huge for his team. Can they counter dive and save him, though? Monkey is 1. Are they able to clean it up? They need to be regrouping on point here. They're really split. Archangel goes down, though, early before getting res off. And the enemy Mercy goes down, too. This is crazy. It's going to be a really close fight. It's going to come down to if Rubbish can get more picks than Shimada. Tracer on him. Can he win the 1v1? Ooh, he goes down to Pumpkin. And Hack Cam goes down on point. Okay, so that's probably going to be the point. That was a really good retake, especially after they picked the Genji, who overextended another Widow. They did a really good job pushing up the pressure and point in the backline. Still bleeding in here. Maybe Lucio can touch again. Monkey coming back soon. And Tracer might be able to get a couple picks here and turn this. Tracer going after the Widow. Rubbish getting pressured out though with recall. Genji next. Recall makes the blade. It's 1 pick. Oh, only 1 though. That was nice, though. That was both those rounds were really close, 99 and 99. I think there were just like a few positional errors and maybe some ult usage errors that changed that. But all in all, those are pretty good fights. I think that they should look about how to pressure Widows without committing so many ult or so many cooldowns, because if you jump that aggressively into the Widowmaker, you're kind of split from your team. Let's take a look at this awesome play of the game. Boop on the Monkey. That was very unintentional. That's funny, though. That's very good. Oh no, Shimada played really well in that fight. Excellent. And the map overall on the Widow and the Pharah. So map 2 here is going to be an escort map. We're going to be going to Dorado. It's a pretty versatile map with a lot of high grounds, and you're probably going to be seeing a lot more Widow and Pharah, and maybe some Hanzo and Winston Diva, and a lot less tanks. It'll be interesting to see how each team adapts to like the Widow pressure, because both Widows were doing a lot in those fights. I'd want to see them maybe either play a comp that can pressure the Widow alone, or play a comp where like they can kind of ignore the Widow and fight. Yeah, you see Rubbish already swapping over to that Widow. Shimada, though, going with the Genji. Interesting. Okay, so Genji, Tracer, Brig again. That's an interesting comp to me. I think it's like, it's a little bit hard to dive with it. You're missing Discord and you're missing speed, so it's hard to gap close, but you do have a lot of frontline pressure. If Hackcam does stay on the Orisa, though, the Brigitte is going to get completely denied. I really like the double sniper from Rubbish and Koru. I think it's a strong comp. Junkrat on defense here is okay, but you don't really need the Junkrat over the Hanzo because tanks are really bad on this point. Generally, the trade-off there is Hanzo's a lot better at dealing with Winston Diva, and Junkrat's a lot better at dealing with Reinhardt. And you only really need the Junkrat on maps where Reinhardt is really strong. So because Reinhardt's not really strong on this map on the defensive side, I like seeing the Hanzo over the Junkrat. Mercy Zen is an interesting choice. You see a lot of Diva over Zenyatta here, but you can definitely make the Zenyatta work. You just have to watch out for the dive because you have no Matrix to protect your backline. It'll be interesting to see if they do walk out of spawn on this dive comp. I don't know what exactly their game plan is with it, but I think it's going to be hard for them to dive and stay healed up. But if they can get the Brig into the backline, it should be pretty strong. I kind of wanted to see Shimada versus Rubbish on Widow again. I think that'd be very interesting. Because they were going pretty even in the duels last time. It was just Shimada had a little bit more room from his team. And Hackcam was overcommitting a little bit to try to chase him.
4, 3, 2, 1.
So it looks like they are going to be staying on this Brig comp. Going pretty aggressive, trying to pressure the Widow. Pumpkin over there trying to hunt him out. So they're getting a good position here with their DPS, going for a flanker on the right side. Hackcam is staying really aggressively up here on top. Tracer already into the back line and commits recall. That's going to be hard for them to dive now without recall. She's going to be taking a lot of poke and giving up high ground. This dive here is pretty split, but maybe they can get the Mercy. The Mercy's only 1 HP. Oh, barely gets away. Really good play from Lord 311 to get away there. Shifting through and then going out the window to keep orb on him. They still need to regroup and play slow, but that was a really good fight. Mega on point alone. Rubbish goes down to the Genji, actually. Are they able to get that res off? Genji's actually still behind them. I'd like to see somebody go clear him. They do end up clearing Genji. That's really good. So that was a really good fight. They did a good job peeling for their backline, staying grouped, rotating Mei, and now it's going to be really hard for Pumpkin especially to get in, because the only good flank route for him is kind of through this right side over here, where it's going to be really easy for him to get tagged by Hanzo or Widow. Even with a Discord on him, a body shot from either sniper is just one-shotting him. Twiz swapping. They're going Zarya, Ryan, Break Mercy with Genji Tracer. So I don't like this. I think you're going to have a hard time getting in. They're swapping Zen Mercy. Okay. I still don't like keeping the dive DPS with it. With Ryan Zarya, you kind of want to be going like a little bit aggressive, but you want some range damage, and they kind of gave that up. Okay, so they're still actually fully swapping their comp. So triple support Hanzo with Ryan Zarya is totally good. Koru and Rubbish need to be flanking aggressively to get picks, especially Rubbish. Because the enemy team has no Widow and no Diva, he should be really free to do whatever he wants. I like this slow backing up. This is good. Kiting out the fight, making sure they can't do it. I like this trance. They committed shield bash. They commit trance. They're not really capitalizing off it, though. Twiz might be able to go grab up this fight. Ooh, that's a huge pick on Koru. So much of the tank damage is gone. They just need to play together and slowly push out the Sarissa. Twiz is a really high charge. Yeah, so that was really good, actually. They executed the Ryan Zarya really well. I would like to see them maybe swap that a bit earlier. At the 2-minute mark was a little bit late, but all in all, I think it worked out well for them. They both tangled going to the next point. It'll be interesting to see if they can use the grab. Hanzo ulting point there, I think, is questionable unless he's swapping. Is he going to go Genji into their comp, or is he just ulting for the sake of it? I'd like to see a swap now. Maybe the Genji to keep high ground control for your Widow, try to give her more pressure. It looks like they might be going full dive. Tracer Genji. Okay, so this is interesting. So, because they are on 3 supports, it's going to be a little bit hard to full dive, especially into the Shatter. It'll be interesting to see how they use their tank ults here to protect their support line. Positioning on high ground here is really effective against the Ryan Zarya because they can't really see you or gap close to you. So you can kind of just drop into them and start shooting for free. I like his position by Shimada, but he's a little bit split from his Mercy here. Yeah, he does dive before the Mercy's able to get him. Huge grab, though, from Twiz. Getting a 5-man against dive is crazy. It was a really good grab. That alone turned the fight. They did a really good job picking off Shimada because he was a little bit back and away from the Mercy, so they were able to pick him off before he could get to the Mega or get healed. But that grab really turned the fight around. And only committing 1 ult there to win this point is actually really huge. They try to contest, get back a little late. It's unfortunate. They're probably going to get bled here as they push up. Genji split. Dragon split to pick up the Genji. So this is where their comp is actually best on 3rd point, where there's like limited room to play high ground and most of the fight is going to be on low ground. So it'll be interesting to see if they swap off of dive here. It's pretty bad with this comp. Trying to dive this comp is really awkward because your only dive target realistically is the Hanzo. Because if you dive the Mercy or the Zen Zen Brig triple pocket each other, so the Mercy can get healed by the Zen and the Brig can get healed by the Mercy and the Zen can get healed by the Brig and the Mercy. So it's very hard to actually pressure out and kill any of those supports. So you're much better off trying to focus down tanks and DPS and out damaging them rather than trying to dive. Huge pick from Shimada on Rubbish. And he's going to get the Mercy too. That's massive. They need to play slow, kill off the bleeds, and keep capping the point. 2-man Shatter is this fight has been crazy. Okay, so that flank by Shimada was really good. Pushing into spawn and making sure he didn't let the Hanzo up the flank for free was really important. Picking the Mercy was really important. And then Diamond Dog realizing that the only way they can lose is if the enemy team gets a touch cart, and just using that Shatter to shatter tanks, even though it was in a Transcendence, I think is actually pretty worth it. As long as they're not touching the payload, you're able to finish with more time up, and that's really good. That was a really good time. 3 minutes and 25 seconds is crazy fast for Dorado. So they just had so much success with the Rein Zarya. I think they're thinking about playing it on defense because of how good they did with it. It looks like Orb might go on Brig and Pumpkin's going to play the Zenyatta. So this comp on defense is fine. I think it's going to be a little bit hard if the enemy team goes either Pharah or triple tank, triple support. Just because the tank has, or this comp has like some frontline pressure, but it's not. The comp is mostly playing around the combo, and comboing on attack is a lot better than comboing on defense. When you're comboing on attack, the way you're winning is you only need to win on attack 2 fights per point, generally. So because the combo of Zarya's Graviton Surge plus Hanzo's Dragon Strike with Mercy damage boost goes through the support ults, you can easily win one of those 2 fights for free every point. So that's like the strength of the combo on attack. But on defense, normally to hold on a point, you have to win 5 to 6, sometimes even 7 fights. So I think the combo on defense is a bit weaker. It'll be interesting to see like how they use it though. I really like this comp coming out from Extra Thick. The Lucio Moira, I hope they go Brig off Hanzo. I don't like the Hanzo with it. I want to see Lucio Moira, Brig, D.Va, Reinhardt, Zarya, and kind of just speed into Diamond Dog's face and try to take him out early. Also, if Pumpkin's out of position, it'll be really strong. They're setting up high ground here with the Rein. Normally you'd see people set up here with the Orisa because their shield, whenever you put down a new shield, it refreshes the health, whereas Reinhardt's shield is to recharge. So if you take too much poke on this, when they actually get to the initial choke over here, his shield might be too low to hold close. They are staying on the Hanzo, so they have no Brig. So it's going to be a bit harder for their Rein to actually win the duel, because Orb can stun Hack Cam, but Hack Cam can't have any support against Diamond Dog, so it'll be interesting to see. They're playing really aggressive with their shield here. Diamond Dog's taking a lot of shield damage. They're going to actually give up a lot of space and maybe lose this fight. Twist behind the Rein shield. Ooh, really aggressive play. Taking out Hackam really early. And Rubbish, that's huge. So they kind of let the Discord Orb get too much value there, and the Brig. They stunned Rubbish. They just kind of went in. I would maybe like to see a swap off Hanzo to Brig. With your comp, with the Lucio Moira, you do have less healing than the Zen Mercy, but you have a lot more mobility and a lot more survivability as long as you go fast. So it's important not to take those slow engages in main. You just want to be going into their Reinhardt, fighting as quickly as possible. Diamond Dog with a Shatter, positioning really aggressively. It'll be interesting to see if he can combo this with the Shield Bash to land like a 5 or 6 man Shatter. It looks like they're going for it. Ooh, Diamond Dog actually just walks past the Reinhardt, shatters 3. That's huge. They do overcommit ults though. They use Dragon Strike, Trance, Grab, and Earth Shatter. That's a lot for one fight. Let's take a listen in to Bastion only, my dude. See what they're talking about.
Not worth saying.
Yeah, it's not worth saying at all.
Wait, back up here. Guys, back up. Diamond Dog, back up. Behind the cart. You guys are playing way too out front. You're gonna get picked early by that Hanzo. People hit a shot. That's fine. Up here.
Ryan's gonna go in for a shatter. Hold your shield up.
Yep. You're bubbled. Double down.
I need heals. D.Va's on me. Help. Okay.
Okay, then Ryan's looking for a shatter.
I was out of position.
My shield's
that
down.
thing?
Ryan's low.
Okay,
Ryan's
Ryan,
really
you can
low.
rest
Ryan's
there.
really.
Thank you.
Doing a really good job stabilizing here after getting
That's
that
huge.
pick.
Oh, deep box.
Oh, that was well timed from them.
I vault you now.
No ults. I'm gonna have grab.
Okay, so that was pretty interesting. They did a pretty good job that fight, trying to like mitigate that pick. But all in all, that D.Va Bomb Shatter combo was really strong. It'll be interesting to see if they can get off the recontest. It does not look like it. Even if they could, the Dragon Strike grab probably wipes them. Because they're not playing a Mercy though with the Hanzo on the attacking side, the combo of Dragon Strike Graviton Surge actually does not kill through Transcendence. So if Pumpkin can build that in time, it'll be really strong. I want to see if they engage here quickly with B or if they take the free push on card. I want to see them push card for free since their comp is pretty much a mirror comp. And then if Diamond Dog overextends, they can speed into him. It looks like going really aggressive with the Shatter. Was still looking for the grab. They're going for the combo. Both sides. Shimada does get 2. 3, maybe winnable. If he can get a 4th, Shimada gets 4. Really showing his flex DPS though this whole series on Widow, Hanzo, and Pharah. Rubbish in the backline though gets the Mercy. If he can get one more, it's going to be really huge. Oh, it looks like they might be able to clean him up. Koru does get Shimada. This is huge. They should be able to push off this. Twist and Diamond Dog need to get out as soon as possible with the shield getting so low. It's good on Nimba to take high ground like this, try to deny it from the enemy team. Let's take a listen in to Extra Thick on this next attack push.
Alright, we got this,
Into the iris.
Okay, watch out.
Oh my god, my shield got destroyed. Right low.
Oh, I'm really... Oh! It's alright.
It's still winnable. We're only one down on backward.
I got pumpkin.
Oh, I'm down.
Okay, it's fine.
Alright, I'll reset. I'm going back.
I'm sorry.
It's okay, you're good.
It's only 2 healers. Honestly, just
Yeah, you got this.
I'm pushing the back. They can't get aggro.
Alright, speed in.
Alright, we're coming.
Dude, you don't need to amp it up just for speed.
I'm 80 on all.
I'm trying to speed you all in.
Alright.
Thank you.
Good job. My ult's almost up.
Tracer.
Two fist.
I'm down.
Doofus.
Oh, I'm down.
Doofus low. Oh god.
Behind us.
It's okay. Stay on the payload.
Oh, we need back out. We lost the fight.
Yep.
Back out.
Just kidding, back out.
Oh my god. Okay.
Oh, they got me.
It's okay.
We have
we got a break or something.
We grab
When they dive now.
They have no defense hold.
I can go. Should I go? I'll stick. Yeah.
Can we get a break or something? I mean, they're running like a dive here. And they're running Tracer.
We've grabbed from here. We don't need to switch right now.
No, get over here.
Right.
Back.
We're going to the right. Is everyone with us?
Text me, please.
Sorry.
Okay. Move in. Let's go. Move in.
We gotta go.
Alright, let's get this.
They're top. They're behind us.
That's be big.
I'm low. He heals.
That's kind of big. It's only just 2. With Hanzo. Oh, he's dead.
So that was a good attempt at a really well executed push. They wanted to push in this right side, try to avoid the dive, use the grab and the Hanzo ult, but they got picked off a little bit too early, got split by the Doomfist diving. All in all, I think they should swap. They should swap the Hanzo to a break, kind of run in together, or they could just go like a Pharah because there's no hits on the other side. Nimba actually picking off the Mercy here, it might be winnable. They regroup with the Rhine. And Koru getting a pick, this is huge. Ooh, but the Doomfist coming back, getting the baby Diva. Pushing up, trying to get the Hanzo. If they get one more pick here, it's probably over. This is really good bleeds. Being able to push up like this and like make sure that the enemy team can't fully regroup for a push is really good. You deny them the ability to recontest. That was really well played on defense. They did a really good job swapping their comp reactively, using their ults and kind of engaging as a team. So you got sick play of the game. Shimada with, I think it was a Dragon Strike with into the 2 extra kills on cart. Yeah, this play from him was insane. Yeah, that was really impactful. He turned that fight around for his team. 70% kill participation. Wow. That's crazy. So this next map type we're going to be going to is called 2CP. So the map has 2 capture points, and it's really important to have good communication because of how snowbally it is. And the term snowbally means that once you cap the first point, it's really easy to be able to snowball through and cap the second point as well. So it'll be really on these teams to have like solid communication on defense, especially to try to stop those snowball fights and making sure they can get like stable, concise fights. Widowmaker can be pretty prominent here. You'll probably see more dive than tank heavy comps, meaning Winston Diva plus a flanking DPS be Genji or Tracer plus a sniper being Widow or Hanzo, mostly just because those comps are pretty versatile and they can kind of play into anything, fight in almost anywhere on the map, especially on these parallel high grounds above the point. It's really important to be able to jump on and off of them on dive tanks so you don't take too much poke early. I like the Orisa on defense. I want to see a Diva with it maybe instead of a Roadhog, or solo support with a Diva. Diva's just really good on defense 2CP because she's able to stop a lot of the dive pressure that comes out. Like, Mega Maze Man is probably going to get pressured out really early, especially if they play Tracer Widow, because he has to stay with the Orisa shield right about here to not get shot by the Widowmaker. But the Tracer will be able to pressure him. And the Monkey Diva are probably also going to be jumping onto him. The double sniper comp, though, I think is fine on defense. They just need to make sure they can poke out Diamond Dog and Twiz before they can execute a dive. We'll listen to the attacking team here once they push up and get ready for their dive to see how they communicate and what their plan is. With the Widow Tracer, it is important to note that neither of them can actually jump on this high ground. If you're playing a Genji, he can kind of dash up, but the Tracer's going to have to get set up and go around on a flank, so it'll be interesting to see if they can coordinate that flank and that setup time properly, or if they end up committing too early. Okay, let's take a listen in here on the attacking team.
Okay, ready? We're going to dive their Mercy, ready?
I need to.
Mercy, 3, 2, 1. Dive Mercy, dive Mercy.
Oh my god, that was a really good shot. Oh no.
Mercy 1, Mercy 1, Mercy 1. I'm on mic,
Dead.
It's still winnable, they have no healing.
Fuck. Hunter 1, nice.
Widow up top.
Widow's
Widow half.
I'm down, but...
Oh, I got one.
Arisa 1. Killer orb.
Nice.
Dude, winnable.
Wait, get him out.
Just road.
No, please, don't do this.
That's okay, we go in fast and we kill Hog, okay?
Yeah, rush.
3, 2, 1, go.
He's in back at point.
Sends back.
On Mercy.
I'm back.
Got her.
Nice and nice, good stick, dude.
Oh, Hanzo on top.
Doesn't matter, just pretend like you did.
I stuck it.
Hell yeah.
He's
Dabbing.
Where's the dead? Nice.
Top rate overrated. Snow outdated. Long have we waited. Hotbot Tracer main activated.
Let's listen to the defending team and see how they stop this snowball fight.
Pull somebody out here.
Tracer
right side.
Oh, what? Okay, it's fine.
It's okay.
Wait, don't peek out.
I need help.
One there. I'm low.
Help you, Mercy.
Watch out.
Oh,
I'm down.
I'm coming in.
It's okay. They're going for me, unfortunately, but it's okay.
We just need to get on point.
All right, I'm coming.
It's fine. Oh, Tracer. This Tracer's gonna... Oh god. Nice, thank you.
Stop.
Good job.
I'm gonna die, but it's fine.
Hanzo, low.
Lucio speed in there. If you can just stay on there, I can Lucio speed in there.
Yep.
Got eaten. I'm gonna die.
Widow 1.
Okay. Make sure to stay on point.
Nice.
I'm on point, but I'm gonna die.
You guys can kill Diva to Mac this kill before she gets back to Mac.
Oh, I'm dead.
Full targets still.
We have an ult, if need be. Oh.
Mercy. Nice.
My ult's almost up.
Brigade low.
Good job.
Good job.
So
Nice.
you kind of saw in that snowball fight how they had so much more space to work with on the attacking side. Now the defending team can push up and set up really aggressively and try to stop them from getting in for free. Also know that Shimada's off the Widow. It's going to be a lot harder for them to find that entry pick. That was a really good defense. Even though they gave up 2 ticks, being able to stabilize on defense 2 CP is really important on second point. Let's listen to the attacking team and see if they want to approach us now that they've kind of exhausted their ult economy.
Ready? Running in. 3, 2, 1. Go, dive. I'm Mercy. Mercy 1. Genji. Switch to Genji. You can shield bash him. That's a lost fight. Back out.
I really think...
No, it's a lost fight.
Oh, they just wasted Valkyrie.
Yeah, it's lost. Back out.
Backing out.
Yeah, so that was really good. They identified who they wanted to dive. They did dive, and because they executed it well, they forced out ults from the defending side. So now they're going to have their pulse bomb coming up, their rally coming up, their Valk coming up. This should be a really easy fight for them. They just need to push up main and play slow, and then try to execute the dive on the Mercy. The Mercy's been playing a lot with the tank line, so it shouldn't be too hard, but I do want to see the Tracer try to get on a flank before the fight starts. You see Rubbish actually going really aggressive on the flank here. Not punished, though. Like, taking this really aggressive position on Hanzo is good. He just has to make sure his team is ready to support him when they pressure him. Tracer getting in on the left side, setting up for that flank. Monkey coming in too for the dive. Was this not on into the defending team in this chaotic fight? The D bomb coming out on point is really big. Maybe the Arista can save them. It's a good stick from Pumpkin. They really need to focus like the same target here on the attacking side, otherwise they're not going to be able to clear off the point. This Orisa staying alive so long is really bad. They do finally get down the Orisa. They just need to get down the Mercy next. Quarter's staying alive. He might be able to get beat up or blade up with this beat. 70% already. They just need to try to keep him up until he can get off that blade. 90%. They're so close. Shimada, though, also has that blade. It'll be interesting. The supercharger coming out with the blade. Oh, but uses the dash and doesn't find anybody. Shimada, though, finding the supercharger and both tanks. That's really, really huge. Rubbish coming back, though. Might be able to pick the Mercy. And Lucio. They should be able to stall this out for at least a couple more seconds. Doing a really good job with the Mercy. Lucio kind of juggling the Mercy's fly, keeping her alive. Ooh, they do finally cap. So that was a really good second attack push. They noticed they had an ult advantage, so they just kind of like pushed up. They pushed up. They took positioning. They made sure the Tracer got in on a flank, and they kind of like isolated the back line. That's really important with dive. You don't want to be diving through the tank line and taking all that extra pressure. You want to be diving around flanks so that they don't really know you're coming, and it's harder for them to like position to block you. So that was a pretty good attack. 2 minutes and 58 seconds is... It's not like the best time ever, but it is very decent. You do get another attack even if the enemy team caps. I'd like to see maybe the same kind of comp, a sniper plus Tracer or a sniper plus Genji on the attacking side here again. It is really strong, either Hanzo or Widow. From the defending side, I do like the Orisa. I like the D.Va over the Roadhog. I think provides more defensive options when you get Dove. I do like the Brig. So when you're playing Brig over Zen here, you have a lot less burst damage on their tanks, but you have a lot more survivability on your Mercy. Are they going to be playing Symmetra over a sniper? It looks like they're committing to the Symmetra pick. It'll be interesting to see how they use this. So Symmetra has a couple very unique abilities in the game. The first one is her E, is a teleporter. But it's a teleporter between two spaces in a, I believe, a 35-meter distance. And then her teammates can freely teleport between the two locations. So it'll be interesting to see how they use the teleporter here to actually support their comp. Since they're playing no sniper, though, Rubbish is going to be very, very free and should not be pressured by pretty much anybody. It's going to be on Twist in the middle of fights to try to find time to pressure him. Other than that, I really like the Widow Genji coming out. Should be able to take high ground control, get flanks off, get dives off. It's really strong into this Orisa comp. I'm really interested to see how they utilize the teleporter. Where is the Symmetra set up? She's not playing with the shield. Oh, actually, he was baiting. He comes back from spawn as Widow. I do like the Widow more. It gives more pressure on Rubbish, makes it harder for them to get set up. Walking through point for free here, though. This is really important. Hack cam's a little bit low. They need to heal him up before they jump, but this is really good so far. He needs to drop. This would be a good soft dive if he can stay alive. Oh, Twiz picking off Zenyatta. And they get the D.Va. Rubbish, though, getting a pick on Mercy and a pick on Junkrat. Shimada, though, does pick off Rubbish. It's a really chaotic fight. They should be able to win this, though. The 2v2 Winston Genji versus Widow Orisa is favoring the Winston Genji. They do get the Widow too. So this is a really good first point attack. Now notice, if you look at the ult charge on both teams, this is the snowball fight. They have Blade coming up. They have Monkey ult coming up. They're going to be able to dive really deep, and the defensive team has almost no ults coming up. Let's take a listen into the defending team to see what they do to counter this.
Yeah, I'm probably gonna
play back, Orb. Literally just stay in the.
I'm gonna go Reaper. I'm gonna go Reaper. Oh wait, never mind. They're switching up.
No.
I'm not gonna go Reaper.
Actually, go Hanzo. Go Hanzo.
Oh yeah.
Okay. This is fine.
We full hold this, boys.
Oh, I couldn't quite
Going
pull
right.
it.
Side, left side, left side.
Focus Ryan, focus Ryan. Keep breaking Ryan shield, keep breaking Ryan shield.
Then down.
Good chat, guys. Good chat.
Breaking Ryan shield? Yeah, nice.
From his one on the side. He's literally 1 HP.
If you guys,
Look below or melee him. He's behind you, Pumpkin. He's one. Yeah.
Nice. Going for a hook, going for a hook.
That was a really good job stopping the snowball fight. So they kind of they identified where the enemy team was coming from. You heard them that they were calling to swap Hanzo, so they were calling to swap to a counter trying to adapt to the enemy team's comp, and that's really important on defense because your spawn is so close. You're able to change your comp pretty freely to counter whatever the enemy's doing. So it was really good by them, and now the ult economy is pretty even. You just have to make sure they don't get punished by this blade, so let's listen to the attacking team to see how they use this blade.
Okay, everyone push up.
Hi, Papa.
Push up.
Hanzo.
So watch out, watch out, watch out.
Watch out.
Oh, I got this. Done.
Oh god, Hanzo!
Hanzo.
Hanzo.
It's okay, they used all their ults, so next time we go in, we got them.
No, just it's no, don't go, no.
Oh no, res, no.
Oh,
Okay.
my bad.
No, that's just back up.
Fine.
My ult's almost up.
Just
Hanzo
back
got
up.
3 of us. We need to focus Hanzo.
We need to pop this blade already.
Yeah, I know. I'm sitting on it, and it's not
When you get blade, just go right for Hanzo.
Alright.
We can go left.
My ult's up.
Okay. Just go for me this time. Just hold up shield. You can go fast. Just go. Push in. Like, do not stop right now. Do not stop pressing W.
Just hold.
Ready?
I'm using my ult. You got this.
Are we down?
Nice, good job, nice!
Don't get off point,
Nope.
So that was a really good push by them. They identified their win condition. You heard them say, Reinhardt, just keep holding W. And what that meant pretty much was they just wanted to keep going in. They didn't want to get the fight stally because they had such an ult advantage. They just needed to make it happen and go in with it. That was a really fast attack time. That was really good by them. It was good of them having those dry fights where they were forcing out ults and then regrouping, getting value out of theirs. It was good planning. It'll be interesting to see if anybody changes what they were playing on attack here. Pause. What is the pause key? Yeah. Sure. Control Shift. Yeah. Where is the equal? Awesome. So we're going to be taking a short break. Some people want to go to the bathroom, which is totally reasonable. Official timeout, please. 5 minutes. Oh, let's do 3 minutes. So you saw really interesting comps on both sides there. I like the swaps on the defensive side. Swapping to the Hanzo really works into the Rein Zarya. It was unfortunate that fight they kind of overused their ultimates on the first snowball fight. So when the enemy team is pushing in on defense, it's important that if they're not going to swap their comp to reset their ult economy, which they do if you're on something that would hard counter them, you need to be careful that you don't use all of your ultimates because you'll get into a situation where, like that, they push and they have Transcendence and Valkyrie and Hanzo ult and Genji Blade, and you're stuck with only Valkyrie. And that's a very hard fight to win. Even at a professional level, most teams would just consider that fight lost. You can't win that fight given that situation. So it's important to think about kind of your ult economy moving forward and realizing that even if winning a fight quick means investing all of your ults, sometimes it's better to have like a slower, more chaotic fight as long as you're sure you're going to win it so that you don't overinvest. I think they use Supercharger, Hanzo ult, Valkyrie, Brig ult, I think were the ults they executed there. Yeah. So it's just interesting to think about. There's a lot of variables in Overwatch, both individual and team-wise, and ult economy is especially one that's really, really important in the professional scene. Because ultimates just play such a big role in the game in the way that they change the flow of each fight. So like in a normal 6v6, when there's no ultimates up in the first fight against Dive, you see a lot of Dive playing, setting up, trying to play aggressive onto your support line, trying to kill your support line, and you see the other team who's either not playing Dive or mirroring. Either if they're mirroring, playing Dive again, trying to either trade back lines or find a time to pressure out the tank line, and if they're playing that Orisa comp, they're really trying to protect their back line. However, once ults come up, they can really change the flow of a fight. So a good example is if your dive team has Blade, they're not going to play as aggressive because their win condition is not diving and getting kills. Their win condition is setting up the fight in a way where you no longer have cooldowns and abilities to actually escape the Genji. So if you're playing against Brig, or if you're playing against Orisa, sometimes Diva, you want to make sure like the Diva uses her shift so she can't chase the Genji. The Brig uses her shield bash so she can't chase the Genji. That way your Genji has like more room in the fight to play aggressive. All in all, it'll be interesting to see if they stay on that Widow Tracer comp on attack. I don't think they had too great success with it. The only reason they were able to get kills is because they found the Mercy early. And by the same token, I don't want to see them play Zen on defense. I think they got really punished by playing Mercy Zen on defense, kind of just getting snowballed. So far, though, these fights are pretty good. Teams are regrouping. No one's overextending. bleeding, dying alone. It's mostly coming down to the mechanics on each side. Some people having really good games, like Rubbish's Hanzo is really popping off, and Shimada's DPS is really popping off. And then also like the team coordination and ult usage, I think, was really favoring Hackcam's team. 2 minutes and 58 seconds and 4 minutes and 25 isn't actually that big a difference. It's like close to a minute 30, and a minute 30 is like 2 good fights. But on 2CP... Normally on 2CP, if the enemy team on the defensive side is playing clean Overwatch, meaning they're not wasting ults, they're not overextending and giving picks, you only really get 2 fights you're supposed to win. You get your first fight, which is your snowball fight, where you cap first point, you have ult advantage, and you're pushing. And then, assuming you lose that fight, you lose the next fight because they have ult advantage. You lose the next fight because they have ult advantage, and then you're even on ult advantage. So the snowball fight is the easiest to win, and then 2 fights later, you get an okay fight, and then that's the last good fight you really get for your attack. Mostly just because it takes 2 or 3 of those fights where you don't have any ults, you're not using any ults, and they are using ults to kind of rebalance and stabilize the ult economy, especially against a comp like Orisa, because the shield damage doesn't build you ult charge. So it will be interesting to see. They only really get... If they do cap first point, they probably get 2 or 3 good fights on second. And if they take a minute to 2 minutes to cap first point, I think their only good fight is going to be their snowball fight on second. They were doing a really good job, though, executing on second with the Genji Blade. It'll definitely be interesting to see. Hopefully everybody can get back and get seated quickly. Awesome, we're good. Everybody ready? We're going to be hopping back in here. So the other interesting thing about the second round on 2CP is it gives you an opportunity to kind of counter what comps the enemy was playing. So now you have like better information about what the defending team was playing. As the defending team, you remember what the attacking team was playing, and you kind of start tailoring the way you're playing in your team comp around what they played before. And even though they could definitely change and adapt, it's still important to like keep in mind what they did, because it's semi-likely they try to execute the same kind of plan again. So you see the Orisa, Hog, Zen, Mercy here again. I like the D.Va swap. The D.Va swap I think is really good from Nimba. Playing D.Va on defense here is just usually more versatile, and she's such a good tank that is really important to have on 2CP. 3-3 coming out from the attacking side, so it's going to be really important that Rubbish gets picks here early. Otherwise 3-3 is going to run over this Orisa. 3-3 meaning triple tank and triple support. They're actually playing 0 DPS heroes on the attacking side. It's a really good Orisa pull. Huge pick from Rubbish. That's the fight over. They shouldn't be able to pressure point without the Moira. Koryu getting the Zarya. This is really well executed by them. They just really want to play point, not give up any ticks. The bleed fight definitely favors them because of their high ground advantage. They do get the D.Va mech, though. That's pretty important for their next push. They need to clean this up so they can reset close again quickly. So that was really good. The Orisa pull from Hackcam into the snipe from Rubbish, picking off that Moira early, was huge. If that Moira made it to point, it can become really awkward. And then Shimada needed to be a little bit more careful on point. He was kind of peeking the Widow, taking a lot of poke. They want to be playing kind of in this room, kind of underneath the Widowmaker, so she can't really see and pressure you. Getting back in time is really good. They do get the Orisa pull, but don't get the pick this time. Archangel, though, does have no fade. Rubbish picking off Archangel again. This is really good on him. This is a really good defense so far. The pressure they're applying to the Moira is really good. If you notice, the Moira is only at 44% ult charge, the lowest in the game. Moira's ult builds as one of the fastest ults in the game. So the fact they're keeping it so low by picking Moira is super important. She's really like the backbone of this composition. Let's listen to the attacking team to see, now that they're changing, how they want to play this. Now that the attacking team swapped dive, I really want to listen to their comms and see how they want to push this.
Yeah, they don't have her anymore?
Oh, they don't have her.
They have Genji.
Yeah, there we go. Okay, 3, 2, 1. Dive in there, Zen. Go, go. Aiming. Oh, there's Zenyatta. Zenyatta. Good beat. On Mercy. Mercy back. It's okay.
Widow's down.
Widow. Nice. Well done.
They're resing Widow.
Mercy red.
Genji. Oh, I'm gonna get fucked by this bomb.
Oh.
It's all of it.
That was huge. Alright, reset, guys.
Alright. It's okay.
So that was a really good fight, actually, from the attacking side. They forced out Valk, Supercharger, D.Va Bomb, and Blade. So this next fight, they're going to be even on ults instead of at a massive disadvantage. So they just need to play slow, try to pressure out the Transcendence before committing, and then trying to retake the fight. If they overcommit here early, they're going to lose to this Transcendence. Rubbish picking Archangel early is huge. No res on the side of the attack. Rubbish picking a Monkey too. Jeez. Rubbish's Widow has actually been a really, really good focal point. 3 kills this fight. Rubbish doing a lot of work here on the Widow. Really supported by his team and making sure that the enemy team can't pressure him. I like where the team's positioning to support him. They're doing a really good job kind of like giving him the space to get kills. I think that the attacking team could have won with their initial comp, but they kind of misplayed it. Their Moira were dying on the first 2 pushes. It was really hard.
2-2. Switching sides.
So now, because of the way 2CP works, the attacking team for 4 minutes and 25 seconds only actually needs 33% of the point capture. So they can play a lot of unique comps to accomplish that. It'll be interesting to see if they try any kind of cheese-style Mimi comps, or if they just kind of stick to their bread and butter, play the Mercy Zen Widow Genji again. From the defensive side, when you have to hold for this long, I think I want to see dive. It's really hard to hold for this long with the Orisa, mostly just because Orisa is very weak into 3-3, and if the attacking team plays triple tank, triple support, it can be really awkward to try to reposition quickly. Rubbish kind of carried their defense against the triple tank, triple support with Hatcam, because Hatcam was able to pull the Moira up out of the team and give Rubbish an easy shot. It'll be interesting to see if they stay on the Mercy Lucio. This comp is pretty unique from the attacking side. I like the Widow more than the Roadhog. Mercy Lucio is a very viable support duo in this meta on attack for dive. Let's listen to the defending team and see how they plan to hold this for 4 minutes.
Defend objective A.
They're getting set up. They're going for this really early jump. Shimada getting a pick on Rubbish is huge. They're still going aggressive with this dive, though. Zenyatta actually walking it alone on point, pressuring the Lucio and the Zen. This is a pretty good peel back. They just need to make sure they keep their Mercy alive. Archangel going down. If Orb goes down too, it's going to be really hard for them to hold with no heals. Neither team has any support heroes up, but Lucio coming back to the point. Shimada getting another pick on the Lucio. They might be able to hold this. Monkey game primarily, and Rubbish getting Shimada is huge. He's going to come back to the point, be able to pressure out this Roadhog and this D.Va. They do get the D.Va out of mech, and you can see they only need 1 tick on point, so it's really hard for them to hold. That's a really good hook into the D.Va Bomb. Good combo from Twist and Pumpkin. Whole Hog coming out, pressuring away the supports. Rubbish, though, again picking Pumpkin. And Orb. Rubbish is doing so much work on this Widow under almost no pressure. That was really well done from the attacking side, especially on their defense. They did a really good job making space for their Widowmaker, making sure their Widowmaker couldn't really get pressured easily, and then Rubbish doing a good job hitting those shots when he was given the opportunity. A sick Genji Blade on defense too. The value in that one swipe is huge, hitting 3 or 4 people.
Triple, quadruple kill.
Excellent.
Everybody upvoting the support heroes. Feels good, man. So we're going to go into map 4 here. We're going to be doing another control map. Actually, we'll be doing a hybrid map before we do a control. We'll be going to Blizzard World. So Blizzard World is a pretty unique map. It's been in Overwatch League for a bit. Stage 3 and 4, I think. It's pretty unique in the sense where all of the points are very different. First point is pretty dive and sniper favored. Second point is pretty much entirely sniper dominated. And then third point, you see a lot more tank heavy comps. And that's kind of how Blizzard made like the map architecture. It's really cool to see teams play on because of how versatile teams need to be to actually complete the map. I want to see Rubbish staying on this Widow, and I want to see Shimada trying to find a way to work with his team to get more pressure onto Rubbish, because he's right now getting a lot of free space, and if that continues, it's going to be really hard for Shimada to really take any of those fights. So I like this defensive comp. Orisa on both sides is interesting. It'll be interesting to see if the attacking team actually swaps off the Orisa. But this comp on defense is pretty standard. Sometimes you see Widowmaker over Zenyatta, but all in all, this defense comp is really strong. The triple tank has a lot of health and can make it hard to dive and push through. Mercy Zen is just a good support duo, and then Hanzo can pretty much be a solo DPS because of how much damage he does. My only concern is, once again, they're playing a comp that doesn't really pressure Rubbish. And as we saw on Anubis, like, he is doing a lot on the Widowmaker, so I think maybe they should either be on a Winston Diva or maybe a Genji instead of one of those tanks. Just to make sure he doesn't get as much free space as he was getting. It looks like they might be playing Dive on Attack with Lucio, Mercy, and Widow. So this is interesting. Normally, if you see Dive on Attack with Lucio, Mercy, you see Genji Tracer rather than Genji Widow. It'll be important that they get Rubbish on and off angle. I do like Rubbish staying on the Widow because of how he's been playing on it, but it'll be interesting to see how they can execute it. Let's listen to the attacking team and see how they play around the Orisa shield.
They're gonna try to dive either as Zenyatta or
oh, come over here, over this side.
Rotate, ready. Yeah, I got right.
Hook Diva.
Zen low.
Alright, you got this. You got
Zen
this.
down.
I'm healing. I got you, Nimba.
Mercy down.
Nice, keep going. It's okay.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Take it off, you got this.
Go, Rissa.
Oh, yep.
Go, road.
Nice.
No, get
My bad, I was trying to
standpoint.
That was a really well executed dive by them. They identified who they needed to dive on. They needed to dive on the Zen and the Mercy. They pushed up. They got it well. You heard the healers calling their healing. Interesting. Shimada getting 2 picks on the retake here. Shimada getting 3 picks. Shimada's Hanzo has been crazy this match. 4 picks on the retake. Oh my gosh. Can you get the Widowmaker too? Rubbish actually picking him off. This might be winnable. Koru getting 1. Only Diva and Orisa left on point. Twiz, though, getting both kills. That's huge. So Shimada retaking point and getting 4 kills there is crazy. That's an insane play by him. So now defense is actually, they're not going to have ult advantage, but they're going to be at parallel. It's pretty uncommon you see these kind of fights where both teams kind of bleed and have to reset. But it'll be interesting here. So we have Valk, Primal, Blade, and Walls. Let's listen to the defensive team and see how they play around this Blade, because they do not have Transcendence.
On the Winston's one.
Oh, Genji Blade.
Using ult, okay.
No, it's
No ults. We lose this. They're using a lot of ults.
Yeah, don't use ults.
Okay, switch to dive, comp. Switch to dive.
Go Tracer,
dive
Pumpkin.
Dive plus break, and go Tracer.
Or go Brig.
Or go break, yeah, Lucas go break.
Yeah, so you kind of saw it's really hard to hold on defense there against the Blade without Transcendence. You need to do a lot of like proactive rotations, making sure the Genji cannot gap close to your backline, but since he was able to get into the backline with the Blade, it's really hard to hold him. You saw them calling swap dive plus Brig, but I see that they're just on Mercy Zen. I wonder if they changed their minds on that. This comp is actually pretty favorable into the attacking comp. The Lucio does a little bit less than the Zenyatta, and with Genji Tracer, you should be able to pressure out the Widowmaker. They just need to make sure they play aggressive and not give her room. I like the attacking team kind of playing around the payload. It's really important. You see Rubbish taking this backline angle so he can't get dove. Shimada, though, going all in on Rubbish. Lucio peeling back to help him out. They end up picking him off. D.Va Bomb, though, gets 1, and Pumpkin gets the Mercy. That's huge. Rubbish, though, getting a 2nd kill this fight. They do get the res off. They should be able to hold this. So even though Shimada did die going that aggressive into Rubbish on Widow, I still think it's important because if he's shown if he's given that free space, he's going to be hitting the shots. Getting 2 kills that fight, even when he's getting dove, is really impressive. So from the defensive team playing dive, normally I want to see the Monkey hide, I think, a bit before the fight, and let the Diva and the Tracer do a little bit more scouting. Koru, they're going deep into the backline, getting 2 kills. Wow, that's really impressive. He just kind of dashed in, right-click, reflex, getting 2 kills. Rubbish actually swapped Tracer for this fight to help with the dive. So now we're seeing a bit more of a dive mirror. So in a dive mirror, the Lucio Mercy does win, generally. And that's because with the Lucio, you're able to position a lot more aggressively and kind of gap close better because of his ability speed amp. It'll let the Monkey jump in farther, the Tracer get in farther, and the Genji kind of help with the dive. They do have Trance, though, for the retake into beat. Let's listen to the attacking team and see how they use this beat with the blade.
Good job, good job, good job.
Oh god! I didn't know. I didn't get the ult. It's fine. It's fine.
Tracer, use your ult.
I'm down. Okay, I'm there.
Honestly, it's fine. They lost Transcendence. I have Blade. I don't know why they did that.
Okay, Tracer, use her ult.
Yeah, they use Trans, Blade, and Pulse. It's fine.
Okay, perfect. I have my Valkyrie.
All right.
Okay, listen. Only commit Valk Blade this way, okay? Only
Valk.
I want to pre-Valk and then...
Oh, wait, Valk and no Blade. Am I not going to use
No, yes, you are.
Okay,
I need a good hello and a good wave.
Okay, so pre-Valk and then we can Blade.
Wait, where are we going? Right or left?
What? Okay.
Main. I guess
You okay?
Go.
That's okay.
Now.
Oh. Okay, watch out. I can't hear you down there.
It's fine, I don't need healing. Don't worry about me, trust me.
Alright.
Are you sure?
Dive.
I'm gonna dive Mercy.
Valk now.
Oh god!
Nice!
Equal.
It's
It's fine. Winnable. They're down one. Wait. Hold on.
Take some point. I need healing.
I'm doing a rollout to point.
Heal me, please.
Nice.
I'm healing.
Wait, where are you?
I'm point. I'm the Tracer.
Okay.
I'm stuck. Get away.
Stand still.
It's okay, it's okay.
Diva. Mercy down.
There you go.
Alright.
Diva low. Diva out of
Good job.
I'm moving them all away.
I got you, Tracer.
Monkey one.
Nimba, I got you.
Nice job.
Suiting up.
That was really good.
Nice! Good.
They did a really good job identifying what ults they wanted to use and what ults they didn't, so they just wanted to use Mercy ult plus Blade because they knew they had an ult advantage in the enemy team, but the defending team had no Transcendence. That was really good. And then they kind of, even though the fight got chaotic and both teams started trading ults, they still did a good job staying composed, staying on the same target, not over-investing their ults. And now they have actually ult advantage, even though that's a huge pick from Rubbish. They still have ult advantage going into third point, which is really important. Let's listen to the defending team and see how they can stabilize this.
Wait for Mercy.
Help.
Back up.
Okay, back up. Into spawn.
Nice.
Good pick.
Don't let.
Okay, everybody here. Everybody's here. Okay, that's fine. That'll kill somebody.
Oh,
got two.
Nice.
That's huge.
Mercy in the sky.
On Winston ulting. He's on Mercy.
He's going for me. He's got. Yeah, he got me.
Mercy one.
Hey, Winston's low. Okay. We need to be thinking about what they're doing.
That was really good. That was really good from the defending side. So they started getting bled, meaning the enemy team was pushing up and killing the people who were alone, still trying to get back and regroup. So you heard them call into spawn, which just meant everybody get all the way back, fully regroup, take a full fight of 6, and they did a really good job of stabilizing that. This is going to be the last fight, though. I want to listen to see how Koru calls to use his blade. You saw last time they were calling what ults to use to support him. I want to see if they can do the same thing here, or if they let it be a little bit more free flow. Oh, that stick from Shimada is huge, getting Mercy and the Genji. Getting 3. Shimada's really getting so many multi-kills on all of these DPS heroes. Can he finish off the Zenyatta too? 4K for him this fight. So that was really good. He kind of denied them the ability to take that fight with the blade. They do have ult advantage here. They have the Genji blade for this last fight. Let's listen into the defending team to see how Pumpkin uses his blade. Shimada getting Mercy early is really important. This overtime fight's not going to go. Shimada getting Diva as well. He's really having a good performance on this Tracer. Also supported by the Monkey and the Diva. Pumpkin using Blade just to kind of finish off and kill the bleed, kill the staggers. That's really good. That defense was really good, especially on third point. First point, I didn't expect them to be able to hold that, but I think especially on second and third, they played really well with their ult economy. They did a good job reacting to ults. They made sure they didn't get staggered too much. And you can see the card does not have to make it very far here. This far on third point is really important because it means there's only really one fight on this point. So on first point, there's probably only going to be one, maybe two. Second point, two. But third point, there's only going to be one this time, which means that they should have a definite advantage going into this. So from the defensive side, I want to see Orisa. Orisa is really strong on defense here. It lets you position aggressively and kind of helps mitigate the sniper pressure. If you are going to play a Genji here, I would rather see you swap off the Zenyatta for another tank, maybe. I think Genji Hanzo is a little bit weak to Widowmaker and a little bit weak to dive, which is kind of awkward. Genji Hanzo is normally used on attack because the ultimates are so strong at snowballing, but on defense it's a little bit harder to get the same value. From the attack side, I like the dive. I don't know about the Mercy Break. They've been playing it a lot, so maybe they're just comfortable with it. But I was really liking the Lucio Mercy dive that the defending team was using, so I'd like to see Orb maybe hop over on that Lucio. Or Archangel play Zen. Mercy Zen dive is still totally viable.
Attackers incoming in 30 seconds.
So you see the defending team setting up on high ground here. It'll be a little awkward for them, I think, playing high ground against dive because they're not going to be playing up close enough and early enough to pressure out the Monkey D.Va. They're going to be like letting them in, not for free, but they are going to be letting them in and letting them get the jump off on high ground, which could make it a little bit hard to defend.
5, 4, 3.
Let's listen in to the attacking team here as they get close and try to look for this dive onto the backline.
Defend objective A.
You see them getting in position here on the left side. This is good. I'm worried about them taking poke. I think the right side is going to be better if they try to get a flank off. They're all going from one angle. They dive super early. Mercy getting really low. Did a very good job there. So they need to clean up the Zenyatta on point. It should be pretty free. Going up 2 picks early is nice. They already have the Mercy, so they can't get the res off. Archangel going down, though. Might be winnable for the defending team. Pumpkin in the 1v2. Gets one, gets two. Can Pumpkin get a third? They're both really low. Pumpkin at 1 HP. Oh, Pumpkin goes down to Koru. Good on Koru to save that defense. They are coming back quickly, though. This Mercy needs to get in a good position. Monkey overextending into the Hanzo. He might die really early here. They are doing a good job repositioning. If they can get Koru here early. Ooh, going down. They need to just pocket Koru, get this blade up. Let's listen to the attacking team and see what they're start calling.
Yeah.
Nema's trying to.
Backing out. Okay, I'm dead. I'm jumping off. I'm jumping off. Okay. Run our way back. Run our way back. Wait for me. Wait for me. Let's dive their Zen here. Dive their Zen. They're gonna have trance. We have to bait it out of them, and then we can play it after.
Got it.
Got it.
Or if you can, try to pulse him.
Yeah, pulse.
Okay, we're gonna dive in though. Ready? Going right, going right, going right. Zenyatta back right. Ready? 3, 2,
They're all on me
1.
right
Dive,
now,
dive,
so
dive.
yeah, their team isn't there.
Oh,
Get this team,
the back line.
We blade after, we blade after, we blade after.
Got it.
I'm out of mech.
Fuck, I tried to get out of the trap.
Reset.
I have ulti when I'm back.
Okay, that's fine.
Full reset.
We can do a D.Va bomb. We can fuck them.
If I can get a D.Va bomb off, that's great, but we can't count on it.
So you saw them try to push in there with the attack, and they weren't ult tracking the Zenyatta ult. So when they dove into the Transcendence, they used all of their mobility, and then the support they were trying to kill became invulnerable. So part of the issue there is because they used all their mobility and they tried to commit in that way. Once he used ult, the fight was pretty much over. I do want to listen in again, though. I want to see how Pumpkin uses this blade with the Valk, because the defense no longer has trance.
I can Valk too this fight.
I'm gonna bomb. Valk blade, do Valk blade, and then I'll bomb if it doesn't work. Ready? 3, 2, 1. Do it, go. Down back.
Oh, bye!
Focus point. Zenyatta needs to die. Nice, they just wasted super.
There's only Hanzo. Get the Hanzo.
So that was really good. That was really good from the attacking team. They identified that they didn't need to commit all of their ults, but that they did have a win condition in Valk Blade. They used Valk Blade, even though it was a little bit sloppy and they kind of split on targets. Because they were able to execute the ult combo properly, it worked out really well in their favor. I'm glad the defending team is swapping off of the Orisa to the Winston. Winston's a lot better on second. This is pretty sniper dominated. I want to see Shimada and Rubbish both go to the Widowmaker for this point. This brawl really favors the defending. That's a huge dragon from Rubbish to cut off the defending team's escape. Corey getting a pick. So, all in all, this is a really good fight from the defense because now they're going to be able to stabilize early. Even though their Mercy goes down, like as long as nobody else dies and they're able to set up here aggressively at the choke, it should be really favoring to them. The attacking team did get a lot of car push, though, so this next fight should be pretty close. Let's listen to the defending team and see how they use this Transcendence and this Blade.
Hi. Oh, wait, no, I'm not Lucio. I can't do the voice.
Focus up.
Okay.
Careful.
Oh,
I hit her. Diva's above the half.
Let's see half. Okay,
Nice bomb.
Oh, get Winston. He's really low.
Okay.
Oh, never mind. Oh.
Genji low. Yo,
Oh,
poke
I'm
Genji,
down.
poke Genji. Actually, no.
I'm down.
I'm back on my squad right now.
Yeah, don't.
Yeah,
Okay.
Reset.
Listen.
I got reset.
I can escape. No, maybe not.
Back out.
Yes, again. Woo! No. So close.
Still close. Oh god, watch out.
Only use
Double
trans
check,
for that
double
raid,
check.
okay? Only
Do you
use
think
that
I can
trans.
res or no?
I have trans.
Yes, you can do it.
Oh, just kidding.
What's up for
I have my ult.
Touch point.
Oh!
It's okay.
I'm sorry.
I got chased by Tracer.
I need to
Come on, mate.
back up.
We only have to hold it for 2 minutes. It's fine.
Wow.
It's okay. I have my ult.
We got ults.
So that was a pretty interesting attack from the attacking side. The defensive team kind of got snowballed there. They weren't able to like set up and use their ults. Even though they had ult advantage for most of that defense, they weren't able to find a time to actually use their ults, which is really important. So from the attacking side here, they have Blade into the Transcendence. I want to listen in and see what Pumpkin calls to actually help him support him with that Blade into the Trance.
Hanzo's on far right.
Where our win condition is pulsing the Tracer, or baiting out the Zenol.
The trends.
Okay, that's fine. We can maybe res that. No, do not res that.
No.
Genji's way overextended. Genji cut out.
Winston's on me.
Nice.
Just get out.
I got 10.
No, it's winnable. I'm on Zen. What's the point? What's the point low?
Take him down. Nice.
I'm Diva. Nice. Alright, I'm on there. Mercy on there.
I'm coming back. Should I Valk when I get back?
Yes.
Oof, I just got shit on.
Then one. Okay, that's good.
There's that. Did some damage. Oh.
I'm gonna reset.
Full
Okay,
reset.
it's fine.
No
As long as I ult before they got trans again.
Yeah, full reset.
I can also pulse him before, but he doesn't have it.
Okay, that's fine. Yeah, they don't have their Sentinel anymore, which is gonna be very good. What else did they use in that fight?
They used Dragon Blade, Primal Rage, and Transcendent.
And Valk.
And Valk.
Okay, we got this.
So they only are going to have their Hanzo ult.
Okay.
No, they use that too.
No, they use
that.
Oh, okay, so I'm stupid.
Everything.
Okay.
Oh, I'm getting fucked by Rubbish.
I don't think these.
Rubbish is right. He's behind us. I need help.
Help our Mercy. Press E on our Mercy if you can.
Oh, Diva's top left.
Rotate this point.
Zen down.
That's huge.
I'll come back, time.
Their Genji's one on point. That's huge. Save point. Help me. Kill Diva. She's gonna get back.
If I'm down. You can rest that.
What's the point?
Oh, Winston's on me. Nice.
GG. Hold on.
That was done really well by the attacking team. They identified the first fight was winnable, even though somebody got picked, just because of how the defending team kind of overextended into them. And then for the second fight, they had a plan. They ult tracked really well. They knew that their Blade was going to be really free. So they made sure their Genji got in position to get off the Blade. Shimada had some really big multi-kills on, I think, every flex DPS hero he played. Rubbish's Widow was also, I think, really strong. It was interesting to see them kind of go at it, because they were mostly playing different roles, but